Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of the Bullpen Banter podcast. Today we're going to be going over our players of the week, our teams of the week, and recap some recent news in baseball, especially with some of the trade deadline stuff coming up. So we'll get right into it, man, and get into our players of the week. Some surprising players to see on this list come around this week. The first one off the jump, though, Andrew Vaughn making an impact in Milwaukee. I had a 440 batting average over the last 7 days, 11 RBIs, 3 home runs, slugging 840 with a 1.304 OPS. Warming Bernabel from Colorado, and everyone in Colorado seems to be going crazy right now. Had a crazy shootout with the Pirates the other day, made like a 10-run comeback. That was absolutely insane. But how about Bernabel batting 520 over the last 7 days with 3 bombs, 8 RBIs, a 1.120 slugging, and a 1.6 OPS? Just absolutely crazy. And then some other guys on the list like Gleyber Torres doing really well, CJ Abrams, William Contreras, Gunnar Henderson, and even Anthony Volpe, the next Derek Jeter, doing his thing. What's your thoughts on some of these guys over the past week?
Yeah, man, I won't speak on Volpe because I ain't got nothing nice to say about him. However, seeing some of these Brewers on there, I watched a Brewers game pretty recently, actually, Peralta start game, and I think it was like their GM or their manager of operations or some shit, and he was talking about like with the announcers, like what their deal with the trade deadline was going to be. And now that it's passed, we can talk about it a little bit. He was saying like, yeah, people are telling us we need to get some better bats or get some replacements, but it's like if you look at the team, everybody's producing. Like there's no holes to fill. I think players like Andrew Vaughn are because excuse me, it's because of players like Andrew Vaughn. I mean, batting 440, you can't take him out the lineup. He got 3 nukes and slugging 840. He's been a stud, been on a tear lately, as well as the Brewers. I think they're back to the best record in baseball. But yeah, man, William Contreras, good to see. Gleyber, always good to see. Surprising to see Trevor Story on there. He's been on fire lately. He just had a little incident with, I think it was Hector Norris or whatever, for allegedly relaying signs. We don't know. But yeah, man, beautiful list to see. CJ Abrams. I was super high on the Nationals coming into the season. They've been a little disappointing, but they have so many good players on there that are
Yeah.
exciting to watch. But
For
yeah.
sure. Yeah, absolutely, man. Follow all that up, say the same nice things about all these guys. Some good new faces on the list, and then some returning faces like Gunner on here, and Glaber's just been solid all season long. It is nice to see Volpe finally stepping into some power here in the second half. I mean, he already has like 4 home runs since the All Star break, 3 over the past week. Unfortunately, the Yankees bullpen, even with the new additions, has been terrible. Hopefully, they can put it together. A team, though, that we just keep on talking about for some reason, the Marlins, finding themselves looking into the wild card race just a bit more week by week. They're on the verge of sweeping the Yankees right now as well. So that's something to look after this coming week. All right, and then some of our pitchers of the week. And I know you've been talking down on them all year, but how about Max Scherzer over the past 7 days? 13 innings pitched with 16 Ks at 2.7 ERA. His last start, he went absolutely nuclear. Both of those starts being quality starts. Brady Singer for the Reds, 2 quality starts as well with 18 punchies and a .68 ERA. Jack Flaherty doing his thing back in Detroit, a .75 ERA, 2 quality starts as well. You got Woodruff, Yuri Perez, Paul Skeens continues to tear it up. Jack Leiter has been a pleasant surprise here this season. Even Kumar Rockers made some pretty decent starts for the Rangers, and the Rangers just keep getting better. They made some good trade deadline acquisitions. Luis Castillo coming back to form a bit after an up and down season for him, and Yu Darvish looking really nasty. 7 strong shutout innings with 7 punchies in his last start. Some really good names on this list as well.
Hey man, like you said about the hitters list, some returning names such as Skeens always gonna be there. But let me just say, it is so refreshing to see Brandon Woodruff back on the list after missing all of last season, and even I want to say some of this season, or maybe it was the
Mm-hmm.
previous season with
Yeah.
from Tommy John. He was gone for like a year and a half, and we always talk about the show. He's always one of my sneaky favorite players to use, just because he has a two seam that's just nasty. But
Mm-hmm.
very nice to see him on there. Who was it? I saw Doogie Howser just got traded, which I thought was funny.
Yeah.
He's not on the list, by the way, but I just always think of Doogie Howser and Brandon Woodruff because they were in the same rotation for the Brewers once upon a time ago with Corbin Burns and Freddie.
Mm-hmm.
They used to have the ones, but mm-hmm. But yeah, man, great to see, great list. Jack Flaherty always doing his thing. It's great to see a vet like that doing his thing. Another Jack Leiter at the beginning of the season. That man could not throw a strike, and it was super disappointing. But he's locked in. It's good to see, and the Rangers needed it. They needed it
Yeah,
bad.
the Rangers making a bit of a push. They've been a bit of a streaky team this year, but the second half so far has been kind to them. Brady Singer's looking absolutely disgusting though. But yeah, those are our players of the week. Pitching wise and hitting wise, the top 10 from each category. Other guys with notable starts. Terry Skubal again yesterday, another 10 strikeout performance. Zach Wheeler had 10 as well in a head-to-head matchup with each other. Those are two of our Cy Young favorites. But Paul Skeens, man, has had an excellent start to the second half, and he might end up running away with that Cy Young if he keeps at it. Next, we're going to go into our playoff picture, and we had some shakeup this week a little bit. The Yankees continue to struggle, and for the first time since March, the Boston Red Sox surpassed the Yankees in the American League standings. They take over the number one wild card spot. The Tigers continue to be a bit streaky, 5-5 in their last 10, and we got teams gaining on them finally. But this wild card race in the American League is going to come down to the very end, I think.
I agree, man. And it's so exciting to see. I love the teams in the American League. I always feel like both leagues are stacked, but the American League East is the division or I don't know, the place I'd like to go with. So
Yep.
I think it's so sick that the Red Sox passed up the Yankees because at the beginning of the year we had talked about how excited we were for
Yep.
the Red Sox this season. And it seems like things are finally starting to fall into place. Roman Anthony's going stupid. Breggy's doing his thing. And, I don't watch too much Red Sox baseball, so I won't talk too much about it. But very good to see. I also hate the Yankees. I will say the Blue Jays have been on a little bit of a streak. They won, I want to say, the last two, but that series against the Orioles, holy fuck, I think we gave up about 50 runs in 4 games. So that was we had to lock back in after that. But yeah, man, the Tigers, we need to see them quit being so streaky. It feels like ever since after the break, they got back from the break, they've been a little bit sleepy, little eepy. So hopefully they lock back in. The Guardians, like you said, they've been playing some hot ass baseball. Their 2 players got banned for betting, and then they decided to lock back in. So very good to see. Royals game out of 500, so that's exciting too.
Yeah, for sure. The Angels, finally, they were doing real good, and now they've lost 3 in a row to put themselves back again to a spot out of a wild card picture, but they still have a chance if they can get hot again. I think they have a team that's good enough to at least try and make a push. The Rangers continue to play well, 6-4 in their last 10. Cleveland, the same sort of thing, but man, the Mariners, I think they're going to catch the Astros. I really do. They just made some crazy acquisitions at the trade deadline that's only going to help them. Their rotation is already one of the deepest in the league, if not the best. Astros adding back Correa is good for them, but dude, this Mariners team is scary right now. Scary on paper, I'll tell you that.
Welcome home, cheater. Just kidding.
Yeah, no kidding.
We're over it. We're clearly over it. But
Trash throws.
The trash throws, yeah, fucking banging. But anyways, so to get away from all that negativity, why don't we hop into the NL a little bit? Got our Brewers with the best record in baseball currently. I think they're sitting at 67-44, something like that. Maybe at 66-44. Dodgers right behind them at 64-47. And then the Mets in the East at 63-48 are wild card teams. We got the Cubs, Phillies, and Padres, and then the Reds are 3 games back for that last wild card spot. The NL, the teams in the hunt, it's not as an exciting race. However, don't be surprised if you see the Cincinnati Reds or even the Cardinals get hot. The Giants, I don't have as much faith for just because, I don't know, man. I haven't been high on the Giants since even the beginning of the season. I would say they're still surprising me with how well they're playing now, but I just don't see it sustaining, especially if Devers wants to keep hitting 126.
But a good team to see here that win games when we first started this segment after the All-Star break, and now only 6 games back. The Miami Marlins, winners of in a row, 8-2 in their last 10. Scott said it coming into the break. Watch out for the Marlins. They're playing good baseball, and man, they are. And if the Marlins are making a surprising push to make this interesting, that would be super awesome. Dude, holding it down, and the offense has just been doing enough. And I would love to see them shake things up, especially in that NL East, man. If they can make it interesting between the Mets and Phillies by spoiling some games, that's going to be pretty cool. But no surprises, I'd say, for the National League leaders of the divisions. The Cubs continue to play really, really well. I could see them hopping up over the Brewers at some point, but the Brewers are just consistent, man. They've been doing it all year. I think the Cubs and Brewers are about as even as it comes. They have the best run differentials in all of baseball. Those 2 teams do. pretty crazy coming out of the NL Central. Yeah, I mean, any other notes you want to leave on the National League?
Yeah, man, I'm gonna suck off the Marlins just a little bit more. I am so sad they got rid of Jesus Sanchez, especially to the Astros. I think is where he went, because he was that power hitter for them. But dude, Augustine Ramirez, I mean, shit, you saw yesterday firsthand. I think he hit 2 nukes yesterday against the
Yep.
Yankees. So he's
Yep.
doing his thing, man. I just want to keep seeing them young Marlins hitters keep doing their things, like Kyle Stowers, Xavier Edwards, all them dudes. They're studs. Super,
Yes.
super happy to see them. But
Yeah, absolutely. Speaking of Augustine, man, we had kind of counted people out in the NL rookie race, but Mizrowski going down with an injury now on the IL. Just like you said, if he can stay healthy, he's probably going to run away with it. Well, maybe not anymore. Augustine's looking really good in that race now, all of a sudden. Next up, we're going to go through some recent news in baseball. We're just going to go through a couple teams here who made some good acquisitions at the deadline, some who we think's the best, and that first team being obviously the Seattle Mariners, man. There was a ton of demand for Eugenio Suarez at the All-Star break. He got hit in the hand, got a bit of a scare there, but nonetheless, he goes back to the Mariners in a trade where they really didn't have to give up much for him, man. The centerpiece of the trade was 24-year-old first baseman Tyler Locklear, Seattle's number 9 prospect, and he struggled in 16 big league games in the past, and he spent all of 2025 in AAA this year. Not much to go get Eugenio Suarez, who's a guy who's on track for 55 home runs this year. How are you feeling about that trade?
I love that trade. I'm pretty sure that is exactly the team that I wanted to get
Yep.
that exact player. And I just think he fits that lineup so much better than, a lot of other teams he could have gone to. I'm just happy he didn't go to the Yankees. However, I did see that the fucking Mariners are still not scoring a whole lot of runs. I think they scored I think they got shut out in his first 2 games played for them. So I was just like, damn, man, take the man out the Mariners. You can't take the Mariners out the man.
Yeah, no
But
kidding.
I love this trade. I think, as time goes on, we're going to see how good of a trade this was. I think Eugenio Suarez will still finish probably about 43 nookie pookies. I don't think he'll hit as many as he would have if he stayed in Arizona, but I think he'll still help that lineup.
Yeah, for sure, man. A lineup that now includes JP, Julio, Cal, Randy Arozarena, who's having a great season, Josh Naylor, and Suarez now. It's their rotation that's better, but that lineup is scary. Very good lineup if they can get hot. The Mariners are going to Mariner, though, so I could see them getting shut out every game the rest of the season. So next up on the list, we have the Houston Astros, and these guys, Isaac just went down with an injury, one that's probably going to be season ending for him. If not, he's going to miss pretty significant time. And so they went out and did something that I fully did not expect, and that was go after Carlos Correa. This one was extremely shocking to me. How did you feel about that?
Yeah, man, I agree with you. I know when when the news broke, we was talking already. We was hanging out, and we were just kind of confused, I guess, because we were just talking about how good of a player Jeremy Pena is, and I think he's 24, 25. He's a young dude. He's going to be the cornerstone of your franchise for a long time coming, but they went and got their old ex back, so that's kind of odd to me. I don't know if they're going to move Pena to second. I haven't paid any attention to
Correa is going to play third.
Correa's playing. That makes sense
Yep.
to me. I like that. But Correa, he's a veteran. I liked him on the Twins. He was playing some decent ball on the Twins after that first 2 years of the deal. I think the first 2 years of the deal sucked, but then he came back and started producing for the Twins. I am sad to see him go from Minnesota though. But welcome back, cheater.
Yeah, absolutely. He is, if he can stay healthy, he's a good player. It's just health has been the main thing for him. But he has 3 years guaranteed on his contract left. The Twins are going to eat a significant chunk of that salary. So, I mean, overall, I'd say it's a pretty good trade for the Astros. They get a player who's beloved by that fan base, not really beloved by anyone else, but he is beloved by the Houston fan base. I think he'll succeed there if they make a playoff run. I guarantee he'll be a significant part of it. So I think it's a good trade overall. It's just kind of funny how they let him go, and then 2 years later he's right back. Just maybe you should have just paid him from the beginning. Next up on the list, we got the Philadelphia Phillies, and as expected, bullpen arms were sent all over the place in all directions at the deadline this year. Johan Duran, probably the best reliever that they could have went after. They went and got him. He's been great his whole career, obviously, but this year, 2.01 ERA, 16 saves. He averages 100.2 mile per hour on his fastball. I think he also has the fastest thrown splitter in MLB recorded history, which is freaking crazy. And he's going to be on contract with the Phillies through 2027. So, I mean, this was a good, pretty long-term trade for a bullpen piece for them, and I think this was a great acquisition.
I agree, man. I think this is exactly what the Phillies needed. was a back end bullpen arm, and you just got one of the best in the league. I have been seeing a lot of, just Philly shit post fans saying, "Oh boy, Alec Boehm is our 4-hole hitter for the next 3 years. I can't wait. Thanks, Dave." And it's like, y'all might not like him, but he still produces. Maybe at not the highest clip, but he still produces. And the Phillies are a great team. Kyle Schwarber's got like a fucking bajillion WAR. He hits a bajillion nukes. Turner and Harper. I mean, it's just such a good lineup that like,
Hmm.
and they have such a good rotation too. They're a great team. So I
Yeah,
think
they're a
all they
great
needed to
team.
do was solidify the back end of their bullpen. That's what they did with the best.
Absolutely. I know. I think some people get caught up on some of these teams like the Mets, the Yankees, the Phillies. Like every player has to be Bryce Harper or Aaron Judge. And like you just, no, Bohm's fine. He gets the job done at like an average level. And an average player in a great lineup sometimes is perfect. So next up on the list, we have the New York Mets. And for all the talent that they have and the giant payroll that they have, they did have some holes. Their bullpen, center field, and the back of the rotation. They didn't really help out with the rotation, but they did bolster their center field and their bullpen a bit. The highlight move is obviously trading for Cedric Mullins, who is going to be pretty average, but like I said, an average player in a great lineup isn't always a bad thing. He's going to do everything good, not great, but he's going to do everything good. I think the Baltimore's going to miss him because he was pretty loved over there. He's a good player. But yeah, that was a good trade for them. I think it helps him out defensively in center field. And he's a free agent at the end of the year. So if he's absolutely terrible, oh well, they can just get rid of him.
Yeah, you gotta love 1 year rentals. But yeah, man, that was probably the most significant move they made, at least for their lineup. But looking into their bullpen, they
Hmm.
definitely got some arms added that are gonna help them in the long end. With the highlight being Mr. Ryan Helsley from the Cardinals, dude. I was kind of surprised to see him go over to the Mets. I was hoping the Blue Jays would pick him up because I know they were looking for some bullpen arms themselves. But at the same time, it felt like every team was looking for bullpen arms.
Yeah,
Um,
100%.
they also got Tyler Rogers and Gregory Soto. Great for late inning work. Mets didn't swing too huge, but then again, they didn't necessarily need to. Like you said, didn't have a lot of holes, just a few.
Yeah, absolutely. I think they helped their team. They didn't hurt their team. They got better, and they're already an NL East leading team. So, I mean, if they got better, that's great. I think the Phillies got a little better. I think the Mets got a little better. So that's going to be perfect for a nice NL East race. I think that's going to come down to maybe the closest divisional race in the National League that we end up having. Cubs Brewers could get close, but the NL Central always ends up weird for some reason, I feel like. Yeah, next up we have the San Diego Padres, and the Padres, man, they went nuclear at the deadline, man. They have a whole new team. They like the Twins. Do you see that thing where the Twins only have three players like total that on contract for next season? It's crazy. But the Padres gave up literally everyone in their farm at the deadline this year. If you're the sort of person who breaks down every trade by WAR produced over the next decade, then you need to close your eyes because you will think Preller was insanely crazy at this trade deadline. But he traded away one of the three best prospects in all of baseball for Mason Miller and JP Sears. He's doing what every MLB team fans want him to do, which is go crazy and go try and win a World Series. And I think the fans honestly appreciate it. I don't know if long term the Padres will appreciate this, but if they go out and they somehow find a way to win a World Series with these additions, I mean, it's well worth it, right? And you want to go over some of those additions they made?
Yeah, man. Fucking. So they got Mason Miller, JP Sears, Ryan O'Hearn from the O's. I thought that was a great signing. Ryan
Yeah.
O'Hearn has been absolutely on his hair all season, or yeah, all season this year, dude. He was the best hitter on that O's team, maybe aside from Gunnar, but even then, I think Ryan O'Hearn's been just slightly more consistent. But they also did snag Ramon Laureano from the O's, who, that'll help in their outfield or
Yeah.
DH spot. Not the most significant, but Ryan O'Hearn for sure. Freddie Fermin, Will Wagner, and Nestor Cortez also found their way to the Padres. I am absolutely devastated that Will Wagner got traded. That man, the Blue Jays' success has come from the bottom of their fucking lineup. That man's been in the bottom of their fucking lineup all year, and you trade him? You traded the Hall of Famer's son? We don't believe in nepotism no more, Blue Jays? Like, get rid of fucking Vladdy. Get rid of Bo then. The fuck? Oh, jeez, I was heartbroken, but I'll get the fuck over it. Nasty Nestor the Molester. Cortez is back on. He's to the Padres. I thought that was cool. I think his mustache is going to fit perfectly in San Diego.
Dude, he might be like, no one's talking about the Nestor Cortez part of this trade, and he might be the perfect addition for a long, like late inning reliever for them, or a guy who comes in when you just need a pickup start. Like, it's the perfect little thing if someone gets hurt or something. Nestor Cortez is that guy. He's going to give you really good, solid average innings. Like, you know what you're getting out of Nestor. And he's a gamer, man. He shows up in the big moments, minus Freddie Freeman in the World Series moment. But other than that, he has shown up when it matters the most. He's very consistent over his career, and he does it in an unorthodox way, but he gets the job done. And so, Preller, man, he made the deadline pretty fun this year. I thought that was pretty cool. But how about the A's? I'm going to give them a little side note. They're a big winner in all of this because, yes, you lose Mason Miller, but losing a relief pitcher when you're not a contending team and gaining the number 3 prospect in all of baseball with shortstop Leo Dave Rise, that's huge, bro. That's absolutely massive. The A's are going to have a scary lineup in like 2 to 3 years. Like really scary. They just got to get some pitching to help out a little bit. Dude, that lineup is nasty. They got some tools.
I agree, man. And we said that shit at the beginning of the year when we did our breakdown on the A's or on the AL West. We said the A's are going to be looking scary in about 2-3 years, but I mean, shit, they're already winning baseball games now.
Yeah.
I mean, they're not going to win the division. We're not expecting them to win the division, but they're doing better than we expected them to. I feel like some people maybe thought they were going to be like not White Sox level bad, but maybe just a step above that this year. But I think we've seen the vision. We've seen that they were going to be just a step above the step above trash. So
for sure, man. I mean, they got a lot of power too, and everyone in the lineup is young. Like everybody, you got Rooker, man. You got Langlers. You got Soderstrom. You got all these guys. Your boy, Jacob Wilson. It's Nick Kurtz. I mean, dude, it's like, and you get another shortstop now where you could put Jacob Wilson at second. You can keep him at short. You could get this other guy, Leo, over at second, third, whatever. He's an athlete, 5-tool player. Dude, they're gonna be. Dude, watch out for the A's in 2 to 3 years. But man, that's it for this episode of Bullpen Banter. Let us know in the comments what you think, and tune into next week's episode where we'll be going over some of the same stuff and see how teams are doing. Maybe the Yankees can figure it out, but God, we need Judge back. I can tell you that.
dead abs.
Yeah.
All
All
right,
right.
peace.